Live from the City of Angels, Sunday morning, breaking box office slow weekend. It is Super Bowl weekend. So, of course, you're going to see the numbers that are lower than you expect because today, box office typically drops 60% versus Saturday. Typically, you're looking at about a 30%. So, double the drop because of the big game later today. Also, listen, it's February, late January, early February. You're talking about some films that aren't that big, don't register with the average person on their radar, like we're going to see next weekend with Captain America, Brave New World. One quick note here as we go over the numbers. Next weekend, this is all very good for Disney and Marvel Studios because we've had this lull at the box office. We talk about wave theory all the time here. When you have that big film come in, it takes all the oxygen out. Conversely, when there hasn't been anything major for weeks, then you're looking at that next film popping a bigger number. So this is setting up perfectly for Marvel next weekend. But back to this weekend, Dogman at 13.7 million, down 62%. I really thought it could hold better, but again, that Super Bowl really hurts this Sunday number, and that's why we get a minus 62 versus a minus 50 something. But it is a fun film. I said before, listen, even if you don't have kids, go see it. You'll like it. It's charming. It's got a lot of heart and whip smart, clever jokes. I liked it. Dogman at 13.7 million. Heart Eyes is not impressive. When you look at the number here, we go right to the Sony email. You're looking at 8.5 million. And as you do that, in fact, I just lost it. But as you look at the 8.5 million, it's right in line with a Heretic, with an Abigail, with Companion we saw last weekend. When you look at, even Barbarian 10.5, somewhere in that 8 to 11 million range where you're looking for these horror films that don't have a built-in audience. So it's pretty much the same people going to see these films. Hard Eyes is bad. Okay, go back and watch the reaction stream. Wow, what a bad film. Companion is a real disappointment. You look at the second weekend numbers here on Companion, and it just didn't do what I thought it could be able to hold. But again, that Super Bowl weekend is what hurts it. It is down 68% from weekend to weekend in the number 5 spot at $3 million. And this is the problem, right? Here's the problem. It's going to be on streaming here soon, like really quick. Because when these films don't do well, that gives the green light to the studios to say, here it comes. Remember, we have to get those windows. I know Sean Baker talked about it last night. We'll talk about it, Nora, tonight. But this morning, really, it's about, as he mentioned last night, and I've been saying, I picked up the ball way before Sean Baker. Okay, I mean, way. I've been doing this for a year, telling you how we need to have theatrical windows. So Johnny come lately, we've been doing this forever. They have to put back in the windows. We're not going to get 90, Sean. I got news for you. We're going to get lucky if we get 45 because now it's like anything. You let people get away with something for so long and you crack down. It's very hard. You have to I would just crack down at 45, maybe 60 if I can get it. But we need to have windows, minimum 45. Yes, I'd love 90. We're not going to get it. But Companion is going to be on digital before you know it. And so will Love Hurts. Back to number 3. And we go back to the universal email. And you can see here really nothing to speak of, 5.8 million. And this speaks very poorly for what's coming. You've got 2 more beta males turn assassin movies coming up. Rami Malek and then Jack Quaid. They're all the same film, right? I'm just an unassuming guy. I don't mess with me. And then all of a sudden I'm going to turn into a killing machine. Oh my God, the trope. Can we stop? We got 3 of them. And the first one is in trouble. So number 2 and 3 are dead meat. 5.8 million. C+ cinema score. No one I talked to that saw this movie said it was decent. Not one person. So I'm not seeing it. I mean, I went to see the Led Zeppelin doc. We'll talk about those numbers in a minute. That was impressive. And that was the smarter play, I think. It has to be because Led Zeppelin doc's solid. This apparently is bad. Mufasa, Lion King, 3.9 million, still in the top 5, but it is, winding down nearly 700 million. Remember, though, the worldwide on Lion King 2019, 1.6 plus billion. So we're roughly a billion under.
But they're not the same movie. The expectations weren't the same. The budget's slightly different.
Stop. Stop making excuses. Okay? There's no excuses for Nora winning anything. We'll talk about that tonight. It's pretty straightforward. I'm pretty certain that the average voter is not even watching the movies at this point because there's no way in hell that you could vote for Nora as your number one film unless you didn't watch the other 9. That's how bad it is. Becoming Led Zeppelin is 2.6 million in number 7 spot, and it's the best PTA of the weekend. 7,100 per. It was an IMAX 369 screens. I like the film. Listen, it's not nearly a Moon Age Daydream, right? It's not that next level. I'd even say the Oasis doc is better. But if you're a Led Zeppelin fan, and I'm really kind of marginal, before my time, also, I'm more into more of a pop, synth, certainly synthwave now, but electronic, progressive, all that stuff's more in my wheelhouse. Even though they kind of set the stage, it's more straight up rock with those blues influences, which I think the film really delves into nicely. We'll talk about that tonight. But again, number 7 at 7,100. If you did not get this film, you're going to get it next weekend. Sony Pictures Classic going to release it in regular theaters. And I still recommend the doc because there's not a whole lot out there to check out, especially if you have the A-list or Regal Unlimited. You can see these films and really have no risk because you can walk out if you don't like them. So here we go. Number 1, Dog Man, down 62%. Number 2, Hard Eyes, as I mentioned, only 88,500,000. So that's looking at the average for a film like this. As we mentioned, between Abigail and all those films, they open between 8 and 11 million. And here we are with Hard Eyes. Love Hurts, disappointing 5.8, only 1,900 per. I think that film was dead from the second I saw the trailer. And again, those other 2 that are incoming are going to suffer just as much as this film. I think the Jack Quaid film has the best chance because Quaid is kind of up and coming. I mean, is he a star? No, people know who he is. Coming off Companion, he's in a lot of stuff right now, right? I like him. He's the same guy in every movie, right? He's the same guy in every show, but he's still, he's got something. Mufasa, number 4. Number 5, Companion, as we mentioned. One of them Days, number 6, up to almost 40 million on that now. Led Zeppelin, 7. Flight Risk, 8. 25 million on that film. Bad film. Sonic the Hedgehog is nearly 500 million worldwide now at number 9. And Moana 2, over $1 billion in 10th spot. So there is your top 10. It was a tight stream here this morning. We're back tonight. We are going to talk about Anora. Yes, it's the front runner. I mean, listen, it wins PGA, it wins DGA. So yes, of course it is. But that doesn't mean it's a good film, right? An award at the Academy, at PGA, at DGA doesn't mean that your film is great. It just means people are bad voters. Okay, go back to Tar. We'll talk about it tonight. I'm going to lay it out very quickly. The fact that Tar has 0 Oscars and Anora is likely going to have at least 1 or more, possibly a Best Picture. That's all you need to know about the Oscars. That's it. There's nothing else to say. If you think Anora is in the same, judged roughly the same, or even anywhere near a Tar, you're off. You don't even know what you're talking about. Okay, we'll talk about that tonight. Breaking box office is out. See you tonight for Anora, the end of cinema. Oh yeah, it's gonna get wild after the Super Bowl tonight on MMT. Peace out.